Welcome to Celebrating Everyday People. We were previously known as Malcolm and and we're back to recognize those amazing people doing amazing work out there. My co host is Malcolm Berman, and my name is Yana Larson. And you can find us on malcolmpresents.com and on Malcolm's YouTube. We also have a Facebook page, and we're on Buzzsprout in all major directories and beyond as we enhance our online presence. Today, our guest is Olga Dudakova. Olga is a Ukrainian tour guide, storyteller, and cultural ambassador who has found a way to keep Ukraine's voice alive, even in the most difficult of times. Originally from Ukraine and now based in Prague as a refugee, Olga continues her work as a virtual tour guide, bringing the streets, legends, and history of both Kiev and Prague to audiences around the world. Through her videos and live streams, she shares not only the beauty of European cities, but also the resilience and spirit of her homeland. For Olga, guiding is more than just travel. It is a mission to preserve and promote Ukrainian culture. She calls herself an ambassador of Ukrainian stories, weaving together history, legends, and personal experiences to show the world that Ukraine is not only a place on the map, but a living soul of art, courage, and humanity. In her tours, cobblestones turn into storytellers, churches whisper legends, and city streets become stages for both history and modern resilience. Even during wartime, Olga's voice remains steady and hopeful, with thousands of followers across platforms. She uses her work to remind people that beauty, culture, and human connection endure even under the shadow of war. Welcome to our show, Olga. It is such a pleasure to have you here, and it has been a long-time wish of mine to meet you in this way and to introduce you to our viewing and listening audiences. When the world was shutting down, you and your fellow tour guides were there to open the world virtually to the wonders of your respective countries. I'll let you explain more about that experience as well as how it has enhanced your guiding business in the reopened world. Welcome.
Thank you so much for such kind words and welcoming presentation of what I'm doing and my mission and how I see it. It's an honor to be here, and I would like to tell you that I have this profession. The things that I'm doing has a special place in my heart, and it's not just a way to earn money, but also the way to tell the world about Ukraine, because you've mentioned COVID, you mentioned those times when the world was closed for traveling, but Ukraine now remains closed for traveling. Not so many people visit this country, and for Ukraine, this COVID period is still kind of continuous. You know, it's locked. It's really locked because people are afraid to go there, but there is a lot of interest and that is why I try to on my main channel, which is called Marvelous Kyiv. I'm always showing Prague and other European cities which I visit sometimes, and also I pay a lot of attention to Ukraine because it's still in my heart, and I hope I will be able to go someday home, and I will bring all my friends to Kyiv. I will kind of attract them with all these videos, and I'm sure that many people will come to discover the beauties of Kyiv and Ukraine. But I want to show Ukraine and Kyiv as a part of European community, because it's the way for me, another way for Ukrainian solidarity. Like a lot of countries are supporting Ukraine by like financially, by money, or by some kind of military support, but the way how we present Ukrainian image on the stage, like it's not always suffering, and it's a big misunderstanding to present sometimes Ukraine as just the suffering. People continue to suffer and suffer. Yes, during the history, it's I could say this word, kind of a stigma. It was a stigma because through our Ukrainian history, we've all always been dependent on Rich Pospolita. I mean, this was Polish Ukrainian Commonwealth, then Russia, then Soviet Union, and always just through the whole period of time, Ukraine was struggling for its independence. And now this huge war, like this is the biggest war after World War II that is happening on the Ukrainian continent. And again, this image of suffering. So I want to mention the beauty of my country and the heroism of our people. That is why I decided to launch another channel, which is called The Real Stories from Ukraine. However, I think now it's challenging for me to produce a lot of content, but I will try to continue, and the new videos will be appearing on the new channel about traveling and about the channel that is dedicated to the real stories from Ukraine. And these are different because some people are really interested more in traveling and they don't want to hear something that is sometimes really painful to hear.
Right.
But we need to look at the face to have courage. I really think that people of Europe and America and Canada and other I call it democratic civilized world can and should watch into the eyes of Ukrainian people who are paying that highest price for the world values that we are having now. It's so simple, like to see it here. I'm in Prague, for example. I have this Ukrainian flag behind me, but physically I'm in Prague and I don't know, enjoy the life.
Yeah.
Sometimes people ask me about the experience when I'm returning back for some period of time and I'm spending the nights in the bomb shelter, and it's not possible to put this into words. I try to tell people, but I'm sure that they will not kind of realize and live through this until you go and really stay over there when the bombs are falling on the city, whenever, like when the light when there is a lot of kind of lighting, like the Star Wars are happening behind your window, and you feel yourself like a chased animal and you really need to run somewhere. This is some kind of gut feeling, the feeling that it's not possible for other people to tell about, to
I
convey
can't
somehow.
imagine it. I
People
really
cannot
can't.
understand that, but they cannot feel that. It's only
Right.
possible when you are there in that country.
Yeah. How
It
long
must
were
be.
how long were you in Ukraine when the war started? You were living in Ukraine when the war started?
Yes, we spent just about 10 days, then we left.
Then you left.
But we spent a few months in Prague and then we came back to live for half of the year back then in Ukraine. So I was living through the war. And just at the point when they were bombarding so heavily that there was no water, no electricity in my house for, let's say, 7 days. So I have 3 kids, and it was challenging to bring water on the 24th floor with your hands. So we decided to make another attempt and to come here to Prague. And then my children, they started to go to schools, then to college. So this was the main factor why
College too.
I was
Oh, wow.
rooted at the first day.
Wow.
It's a trick. It's a trick of many Ukrainian families who have children because grown like adults, they can return. They can make decisions. But when you have children who go to school and study, begin their studies in college, or now even they entered university, it's like you are like really a plant. Someone took you out from your earth, from the ground where you were growing, and threw you to another country just randomly.
Right.
It was
That must be
happening.
some upheaval. About the question, you always hear about the bombings in the major cities and certain outlying cities. How much of the country itself is under attack? Is there an area that's still fairly peaceful or no? Or is there any area in Ukraine that's uh,
Mhm.
still
Before
normal?
before the last week, we could say that the western part of Ukraine are relatively safe. I mean, Lviv, Uzhhorod, those cities which are close to the borders of with Poland and Hungary. So closer to the European Union. But just a few days ago, they were bombarding Uzhgorod, which is this is the border city. So there are just a few kilometers to Hungary, and no, there is no safe zones. But of course, there is the 20% which is occupied by Russia. Then
Right.
there is so-called, I don't know, kind of gray zone, the place where actually the military, the combat, the fighting is happening. And then they are targeting mainly Kyiv and sometimes other cities where they probably find some, I don't know, military targets, or just they just want to show that they can reach everywhere, because their tactic is there are a few reasons for that bombarding. They want to drive people to force them to leave the countries, to frighten them, to break their spirit. Because if the people are all constantly living under the shelling, they're just, it's not possible to sleep well, to work, to function. So they will just make people, force people to leave.
Can you do you communicate with any friends or relatives that's still in Ukraine? Is there telephone connections or internet that you
So
speak
my
to?
parents live in this combat area, so in Zaporizhia city. Zaporizhia city, probably you have heard that Putin already included 4 regions in his constitution. And these 4 regions, they are not totally occupied and controlled by Russia. For example, my parents live close to the front line. It's a big Zaporizhia city. It was before the war, it was about 800,000 people, so like a little bit less than a million. It's a huge city with the longest avenue in Europe, 21 kilometer. There are a lot of people, and it's not under the control of Russia, of Russian army, but Russia considers this as a Russian city, so they are always, every day, bombarding it. And they are trying to force people to leave from those 4 territories that they already included legally in their constitution. And now what they are saying to our president, and during these negotiations, they are forcing us, like our army, just to leave these 4 territories that they somehow wrote in their constitution, just because they came home and wrote that now these cities, these areas belong to Russia. And like our people don't want to do this, because it is just their occupation, and that is the clear word for that. And surrendering.
Just a little bit of history from me. I'm not sure whether I am Ukrainian or when I did my DNA testing, it sort of was, I'm 98.9% Eastern European Jewish. And
Uh-huh.
as I know that when my grandparents came here, I think like in the turn of the 20th century, that's when there was a big upheaval of the Jewish population in
Mhm.
Kiev, in Ukraine. So I think I might be Ukrainian. I don't know. I know I'm from that part of the world.
It's so nice. It's so nice. I often hear this like stories when people have roots or connections, when they are sure or not sure. But I'm sure that Ukraine will welcome everyone to visit it when this war is over. So my parents really live not close, but on the front line where it's happening, and I have kind of close connections every day. We are kind of lazy to use video kind of connection, where usually we use just Viber, Telegram, WhatsApp, just messengers, and we call
You keep
like and talk that way.
you keep in
Before
contact with
that,
them.
we were using the video conversation, but it's somehow, I don't know. It's probably it takes more time. That is why we quite often. And of course, yesterday was a huge bombardment of the Zaporizhia city, and some people died, and my mom was very frightened. They are just sitting, praying, trying to hide somewhere if it's possible. But it's really animal feeling when you can't influence the situation, when you just know that it could happen anytime and it would be fast. They're just praying that people don't want to die under the rubble, because it is very painful, and they go to sleep wearing the whistles on their heads, like whistles on the ropes, because it's much easier for the rescue brigades to find the people when they are under the rubble, because you don't have the power to tell something or to cry. That is why most of the people are sleeping with those whistles, and they have their numbers, like telephone numbers, the people written on their bodies, especially children. For kids, they have this kind of bandages, not to write on the skin. Mothers just put the plaster, and then, like, if there is
I cannot even imagine what the people.
It's like you go to the shop and it's okay for you just to put on your coat and go out. It's a random, it's just the usual thing. I'm not telling you anything to frighten you. No, these are the rules of living in the front lines. Not just this, there are a lot of precautions, like what you should do in the case of when you're under the rubble already. People are instructed that you don't have to move very kind of sharp and quickly, not to ruin everything, because if the person is there and still alive, it's still possible to because they are taking the rubble very you should see that very accurately, very slowly. Sometimes they have to preserve the bodies if they are under the rubble, and they also have to find the people if they're alive. And it's not something yes, it's awful, but it's not
I
unusual
think
now.
the closest I've come to that was recently in Los Angeles when they had the fires, and we would be. I wasn't in direct fire zone, but we'd be getting alerts, and the phone would ring, and they would say, "Okay, pack your bags or have your bags ready." I didn't have to evacuate, but it was have your bags ready because you might have to
And you did.
evacuate.
You got the important things that you wanted to be able
Right.
to grab, because so many people weren't able to do
Right.
that.
I mean, I basically packed pictures and, old pictures and also my documents, birth certificate, passport, things like that. But it was you were on, you're on edge even when you're sleeping.
Right.
You
And
hear
how does it
something.
feel? How does it feel in Prague then? I mean, are there still issues there, like bombing anywhere? It's hard to tell from the news what's really happening.
In Prague.
You mean, no, in Prague there is no bombing. It's like under the NATO protection. It's absolutely safe here.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Prague is the capital of Czech Republic. The city is full of tourists. The tourism season is never ending
Oh,
here. And the first year of war, people who didn't know, they were thinking like Prague is a little close to Ukraine. We will not go there. We will cancel tours. But that was happening just during the first, I would say, months, probably half of the year. And then people realized that no, Putin is just targeting the country of Ukraine, and no issues with Prague. The community of Ukrainians is very big here. The attitude, it's a little bit different now, like throughout the world. It's not just about Prague. So there are not so many kind of events or flags or support or kind of different. It's a little bit calmer here. So people who can survive, I mean, in the financial way, because we have to pay for a rent, we have to pay for this insurance, and to live as the people who were forced to become refugees. We were not planning that. So people who could do this, they survive. A lot of people have already returned to Ukraine when at some point of time they felt that it's not possible for them to pay rent, for example. For me, this is the most painful part, because it's like Prague is one of the European capitals. It's very touristy city, so the price of the rent is high, and there is the gap between the salaries and
right.
the rent, so it's kind of difficult.
Did you have many Ukrainian friends that live by you, or is there a whole community in Prague, or?
It's the whole community. You can actually go to the street and you will hear Ukrainian voices like from almost from everywhere. So it's the country that is close to Ukraine. We even had the big community before war, so which means that more people like joined their relatives here. But I don't have my personal friends. It's quite simple to find like the community here, some
Now,
Ukrainian events
do
or
you have
simple.
children, that are in
Yes,
school or?
yes. Now my family is during to this kind of, I have personal issues. My family also suffered from this war, and a lot of families were broken. Not some because the just husbands went to war and died there. Some people couldn't live, like maintain their relationship for a long period of time because there are 3 years already. So some, in my case, my husband found a new lady in Kyiv, and that is why my family was also broken. So now I'm in that turbulent period of my life as well. So my kids, part of my kids too, are here. One is in Kyiv, and he will probably join me later. So we don't know what. We cannot plan. I'm saying to you, I don't know what is going to be next month for me.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, especially for the Europeans, like the Germans or the Austrians. Like, why you don't know what you're going to do in next month? You don't know if you have money for rent next month. It's the way how you're living. Yes, this is the way how we live now. This is the way how all
Mm.
Ukrainians live now. We cannot predict like 2 months ahead or 3 months ahead. I'm not talking about a year or something like this. No, it's something out from
So you
our.
have a c'est la vie
Yeah.
attitude, like,
Yes,
just do the
but
best
it's
you
very
can.
stressful. You're always you're in this survival mode. You're never relaxing. You cannot bring another piece of something to your home because you know that this is not your home. You cannot
Right,
buy
right.
additional, I don't know, accessory. If you like a vase or if you like a plate, you know that probably next month you will have to move out, and that is why you will have to carry these
Yeah,
vases
yeah.
and plates with you. And you always are keeping in mind that
Yeah. Uh,
you're
I
not
Meanwhile,
understand.
living in your place.
you're doing tours in Prague,
Yeah.
and you evidently, I mean, you appear to be very busy.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I think our time is about run out.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
was watching the time. I was just thinking it would be great if we could get Olga to come back
Oh yeah, you
because
have to come back within,
yeah, because we have so many questions. And again, the way that I was able to find out about Olga and all the other tour guides, because it was so bizarre during the time of COVID and then everything that was happening, politically or whatever you call it, that places that would be full of plazas that would be full of people and whatever were empty. And it was just such an experience of being able to come together and meet and meet Olga and find out what was going on with her, and then other people too that we met. So it would be great to have you come back. So, Olga, thank you for visiting with us today. As we said, our time is up. And what's the easiest way for people to be able to reach you? You can go ahead and say it, and then I'll make sure that I get it down in our official places with Buzzsprout and Facebook and everywhere. What's the easiest way?
So the easiest way is to find me on probably my YouTube channel, and in the like where is the main information about the YouTube channel, you can find all my others contacts like the email and Instagram and
What
Facebook.
is your email address?
It's the same as the name of the channel, marvelous.kyiv at gmail.com. Marvelous Kyiv, this is the name of the company, and Marvelous Kyiv is the name of the channel, and Marvelous Kyiv is the name of Instagram. Usually I call it like marvelous.kyiv, but that depends on the platform.
And you
But
are marvelous.
just Google for Marvelous Kyiv, it will show you everything. And the
Remember the
second
word marvelous.
channel, Real Stories from Ukraine, I hope it will grow up. And like water is going through the
Yeah.
stones. Sometimes you need to be persistent, drop by drop, and I will try to.
Well, I truly admire you for, for what you're going through. You seem to have it together.
And she
We have
does it
to. I don't
beautifully.
have an option. Like you just can lie down, or
Yeah.
you can shine
Right,
and
right.
try to make something with your life. This is
And look
um,
where you're planted.
Yeah.
yes. Sometimes I am low and I can cry and be sad. Then
Well, yeah, well, I
then
mean, it's good to get that out also.
yes,
Not
because
to avoid it.
Well,
it's
we'll
not
do
fun.
what we can to help you and get the word out about what you do. And best wishes to you. I hope, keeping
Yeah, but I
stay.
have high hopes that that the war will end soon.
Yes, yes. Let's hope for
I
that.
mean, most of the folks in the U.S. are behind you,
Yes,
No,
I
it
agree.
will end at some point.
so you
Definitely,
have
all the
friends.
wars end. History. All the wars end at some point, but I want to see this end of the war. I want to
Yeah,
see it in my lifetime.
the end of killing.
We do too. Well, anyway, thank you, everybody. Remember to like, share, and follow us. You can leave us a message at malcolmpresents.com if you have questions or comments. So, goodbye from Malcolm and me celebrating everyday people.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.